if you want.
Արդեն սկսեմ։ Բարեցիս։ Ես Մարկ Գրիգորյանն եմ, լրագրող եւ գրող, եւ ես կլինեմ այս հանդիպման վարորդ։ Ես ուրախ եմ ներկայացնելու ձեզ Լուիս Մորենո Օկամպոին, արգենտինացի դատախազին, ինքը հրավիրված է Հայաստան գալու ԱՄՆ-ի ճշմարտության և արդարադատության կենտրոնի կողմից, ինչպես նաև հայ վեհապար Գարեգին Գեբրոսի կողմից։ Եվ այս հանդիպումը ուրեմն լինելու է ընդառաջ, լինելու է շարժման շրջանակներում, իսկ շարժումը նվիրված է լինելու հայկական բանտարկյալների ազատելու ուրեմն պահանջին, Բաքվում կայանալիք COP29 հավաքին ընդառաջ։ Ես նաև մի քիչ դանդաղ եմ խոսում, որպեսզի թարգմանիչը հասցնի թարգմանել։ Մեր այսօրվա հյուրը աշխարհի երևի ամենահայտնի իրավաբաններից մեկն է, դատախազ, որը հայտնի է դարձել ընդամենը 32 տարեկան էր, Արգենտինայում ուրեմն խունտայի դատավարության ներկայացուցիչ որպես, ինքը այդ ժամանակ գլխավոր դատախազի տեղակալն էր։ 84 թվականին կայացած այդ դատավարությունը շատ մեծ նշանակություն ունեցավ, մեծ դեր ունեցավ, երբ գրող և լրագրող Սամվել Շահմուրադյանը 1989-90 թվականներին ձեռնարկեց Սումգայիթյան պագրոմների, զոհերի հետ կատարվածի գրանցելը, արձանագրելն ու ներկայացնելը։ Դուք երևի բոլորը գիտեք գիրքը Սումգայիթյան պագրոմների մասին, Սամվել Շահմուրադյանը պատրաստել էր նաև այդ գրքի երկրորդ հատվածը, երկրորդ հատորը, որը չհասցրեց հրապարակել։ Մեր այսօրվա հյուրը դարձել է միջազգային քրեական դատարանի ամենաառաջի դատախազը և այդ պաշտոնում աշխատել է 10 տարուց ավելի։ Ինքը դասախոսել է աշխարհի ամենահեղինակավոր համալսարաններում, աշխատել է ամերիկյան շատ հեղինակավոր իրավաբանական կազմակերպությունում և անցյալ տարի 23 թվականին հրապարակել է 2 զեկույց, մեկը, որով պնդում էր, որ արցախյան բլոկադան իրենից ոչ այլ ինչ է, եթե ոչ ցեղասպանության գործ, և երկրորդը, որտեղ շարունակելով այդ պնդումը ինքը պահանջում էր ազատել հայ բանտարկյալներին, որոնք մինչև հիմա պահվում են ադրբեջանական բանտերում։ Հիմա ձեր թույլտվությամբ ես անցնեմ անգլերենի, որովհետև մեր հյուրը դեռ հայերեն չի խոսում, ես ամեն ինչ ուղղելի է։ Now, we are facing, you actually are facing an audience of people who are very eager to know the answers of very, very important questions to them. These are very emotional questions, and in many of them, there is a sense of hopelessness and desperation. Hopelessness and desperation, which everybody feels in the current situation. There were well over 100 questions directed to you before these meetings. I grouped them into 4 different groups. And
Before you start, can you do something? Can you describe what we are doing? Who are there? Who are they? How they're coming? Because for me,
hang on.
okay, I got I'm very proud to be here with you. One of the goals coming to Armenia is to listen to the people. So this is for me my first open meeting with Yerevane people. I went to the south, I met artifact victims, I met people living in the border with Azerbaijan, when they see in front of them Azerbaijan military barracks. So I was trying to meet different groups, but this is the first time for me to meet the people in Yerevane. So can you tell who are they and what type of, because you read the questions, can you summarize what do you think they are thinking? What are the concepts? Is it hopeless your idea or their idea?
It's opportunity.
So tell me who are
Now, as far as I know,
yes.
You are facing now some people from the Armenian civil society, also many people representing, refugees from Artsakh, from Karabakh, and also some relatives of the people who are now in prisons in Baku.
Can you raise a hand those who are from Artsakh? Can you have a question?
Արցախցիները կարող են ձեռքերը բարձրացնել, որպեսզի ինքը տեսնի ովքեր են։
Wow, many. I've been many here. Okay. Not from Artsakh. Those who are not from Artsakh.
Ոչ արցախցիները հիմա։
Okay. Half. Okay. Yeah.
Now, the main sort of clusters of questions are the need to release Armenian prisoners from Azerbaijan.
Let's do that.
Yes, these were the questions which were given to you before the start of the meeting, which were came.
Yeah. Do the same. They think they are worried about this. They are worried about the prison. That's the question.
Yes.
Okay.
So this cluster divides into 2 different clusters.
Okay.
One is about the former leaders of Artsakh,
Yeah.
and the other one is about ordinary people. Those who...
Nagorного people displaced here, or all the way to the jail.
No. Those, questions about, what can we do? How can we help? How can we get them out of the prison from Azerbaijan?
Okay.
The next sort of cluster of questions, I would say that they are showing a visible resentment towards the West, which doesn't act actively enough, doesn't respond to the exodus of the people from Karabakh, and does not classify what happened as a genocide, and in general are following double standards.
Yeah.
This is sort of the second cluster of questions. The third cluster of questions is what can Armenians do to raise awareness, to bring in international organizations so that there is more attention to whatever happened in Karabakh in the recent years. And the fourth cluster of questions is about the international organizations themselves. Which organizations can be involved? Why aren't they active? Which international platforms can we use to reach a punishment for the perpetrators of ethnic cleansing and genocide in Artsakh? So these are sort of 4 big clusters of questions. The floor is yours.
Okay. Can we start with the last question?
Okay.
Because if you summarize okay, many of them want to understand our conversations. I really like to focus on what happened, how to help Artsakh people, because they have the right to return, and there are many rights. We can discuss how to implement that right. And we should talk about those in jail, because they are general victims in jail. Well, let me start with that. The world is organized around states. We have rights and states protect us. Nagorno Karabakh people have a state that no one recognizes. So no one recognizes Artsakh. And that's one big problem. In my meeting, I had a meeting with Artsakh people on Tuesday, and one of them told me international law is fake. I like it because, yes, international law is frustrating. It's not working well. But we have an option. The option is weapons. And two examples why weapons are not solving the problem. What is happening today in Palestine? Hamas is trying to solve the issue with weapons, killing Israelis. And now what's happening is more killing, and will be more killings. They are killing each other for the last 75 years. So weapons is not the answer. And Armenia is the other example that weapons is not the answer, because Armenia had the weapons. Armenia won the war in 1993, and today we are and we are. Why? Because Armenia did not manage to use the law to solidify the situation. In 1993, the UN Security Council, which is a body of the UN in charge of peace and security in the world, integrated by 15 members, including Russia, China, US, France, and UK, and 10 others, they decided unanimously that Armenia has to return the land occupied to Azerbaijan, not Nagorno Karabakh, but the rest. And for 30 years, Armenia refused to do it. So that's why when Azerbaijan attacked in 2020, there's a problem, because yes, Nagorno Karabakh was a dependent place, but not the rest of the land occupied by Armenia. That's the problem. So that's why law itself is not the only solution, but without law, we have a problem. And weapons, yes, you need weapons to defend yourself, but weapons are not the solution. So how to integrate the solution, that is the particular challenge you have. You think that is okay, that description that you
No. That's okay, I'm just preparing.
No, I like to, Yeah.
Well, okay, from our perspective.
Yes.
Well, from Azerbaijani perspective.
Azerbaijan or Armenian?
From Azerbaijani perspective. The land surrounding Karabakh is a problem, and Karabakh proper is a problem.
Yes, there are two different problems. And for Armenia also. So, for Armenia,
the situation is completely different. Neither Karabakh proper nor the land surrounding is a problem.
Why?
If we are putting things like that. And
Why? Because, explain to me that, because Armenia never say, this occupied land is our land. Armenia never said that. Why is the problem?
Armenia never said that, officially, but within the public, within the Armenian population.
And you believe that?
Both here and in Karabakh. The sort of the biggest idea was that if you have taken the land by blood, there is only one way to return it, by blood.
Oh my God, okay.
That was, that was what a good majority of Armenian people was thinking before 20.
Can you check if they agree with you? How many of you, can you check how many of them agree with you?
In հարցնված ընտրեն ձեռքերը բարձրացնել, ովքեր գործից են համաձայն։ Իմ արտահայտության։ Սպասին, հայրեն ասել, ուրեմն մինչև 2020 թվականի պատերազմը հայ հասարակության մեծամասնությունը պնդում էր, որ արյունով վերցրած հողերը չեն վերադարձվում իվանագիտական ճանապարհով, արյունով վերցվածը պիտի վերադարձվի արյունով կամ կարող է։ Okay.
It's a wrong expression because it was not an occupied territory. It was mispresented to the whole
What is?
This buffer zone that you are saying that it was occupied, it was not an occupied territory.
What is?
It was an Armenian land which was given by Stalin to Azerbaijan, which didn't even exist before.
Okay,
So,
I understand. I understand what you said. So,
Yeah.
what she's saying is, look, this land, in fact, was always Armenia. Stupid Stalin gave the land to Azerbaijan, and he's wrong. So, we recover the land. That's your thinking. Thank you for this comment. I understand that. So, it's fine. I understood. Yes, thank you. So, that's your interpretation. This was Armenian side. Stupid Stalin gave a stupid decision. So, please. Stupid Stalin made a stupid decision, get back to Azerbaijan, we recover our land. Okay. I don't know if you're right or wrong, but the problem is, in 1993, the top international authority, the UN, United Nations Security Council, said this is occupied land and you have to return to Azerbaijan. That's what they said. And that's the rule, that's the law, that is the global law for us. And that's why, whatever you are thinking, there was a problem. That's why Azerbaijan attack in 2020 was not considered illegal itself, because recovering what was Stalin gave then was for the UN Security Council okay. And that is the problem. Nagorno Karabakh was a different situation. Everyone recognized Nagorno Karabakh was not part of Azerbaijan. The problem is there was no legal solution for this problem. I probably you don't like this part, but I think you should understand that external view. Wait a minute. So I am trying to provide to you the problem has different sides, and I'd like to show you one aspect that is not good for Armenia is when Armenia won the war in 1993, Armenia you have the possibility to resolve the issue. In 2001, 2004, you make negotiations. You can impose your will there. And according to the US Security Council, you have to return the Azerbaijan land to them. The buffer zone was not an idea accepted by them. And I think you consider that, but it's not accepted. So in those days, you can make a deal, giving some kind of control to that land or recognize Azerbaijan land, not Armenian land, and keeping it Nagorno Karabakh. And you can define Nagorno Karabakh with some kind of different legality. Nagorno Karabakh could be a state, a province of Armenia. Hawaii is an example of a proper state that is not geographically together with US and is a state. Puerto Rico is a different model. So you can do Puerto Rico model, Hawaii model. You choose something different. You choose independent state. That's highly complicated. Why? Let me explain why it's complicated. Because in any country in the world, in US, in Argentina, in UK, there's always a region separatist. And the states hate the separatism. So no one wants to recognize Nagorno Karabakh. And in fact, you receive zero recognition, zero. So that was a problem, legal problem. So you have a state that no one recognizes. And then the only reason you were there is because you have enough power to protect yourself. When this power change, you lose. But if that's why, if you learn from the past, Azerbaijan has to understand that something similar to them. If they don't respect now international law, the problem will not be solved, and they will have a problem in 20 years, 30 years, and both of countries will have a problem. So that's why even the legal system is not always working perfectly well. It's not 100% solution. It's part of the solution, and you have to understand that. You need to find a way to protect Nagorno Karabakh people, understanding that Armenia did mistakes in the past. And what we are today, in some part, is a consequence of mistakes Armenia did in the past, not managing this properly. And that's my only point. I don't know if it's tough for them, you think it's tough for them, or I should make this point?
No, I mean, you have made this point already.
Yes.
So wherever it's tough or not, it's
You need that or not?
I see several several.
No, I'm sure if you open the door, it will be complicated. So the conversation with you. So you represent all of them. Then you attack him because you are not representing. He's not representing you well.
Hima, if you let me say a couple of words in
Okay.
Urek desek hargelin. Yes, urek harcet kalinen. Հարցեր կլինեն միայն ես կխնդրեմ, որ լինեն հարցեր եւ ոչ թե հայտարարություններ, որտեղ մենք սովորաբար հարցեր չենք տալիս, մենք անում ենք հայտարարություններ շատ հաճախ։ Okay. Հիմա ես շատ լավ հասկանում եմ, որ իր ասածների մի ինչ-որ մասը, ես չգիտեմ մեծամասն կամ փոքր մասը, սարսափելի անհաճելի են բոլորի համար։
Սխալ։
Շատ ոչ հաճելի է լսել այդ ասածը, because I still have to finish the sentence.
But I'd like to open the door for this. I'd like to go ahead, the other problem come.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be after that. Տեսեք, հարգելիներս, իր ասածները շատ դեպքերում մեզ համար հաճելի չեն եւ մեզ համար ընդունելի չեն։ Բայց ես խնդրում եմ ինչ, եկեք հասկանանք, որ իր ասածը ներկայացնում է այն հայացքը դրսից, որի պակասը ու որի կարիքը մենք ունենք։ Փորձեք մենք լսել եւ հասկանալ հայացքը դրսից, մանավանդ, որ այդ հայացքը մեզ ներկայացնում է ամբողջ աշխարհի ամենահեղինակավոր մարդկանցից մեկը։ Անհամաձայնության համար, հարցերի համար, թող ինքը վերջացնի, հետո անցնենք, եթե ինքը վերջացնի,
Okay, but whatever mistake you did, that's not justification for what happened in Nagorno Karabakh. That's the point I was trying to make. What happened in Nagorno Karabakh, I say, is a genocide. Two forms of genocide committed. The first one, in Armenia, you suffered genocide in 1915. 1.5 million people died. Holocaust, 6 million people died. So that's one extreme form of genocide. But genocide is a convention, it's a treaty. And they define genocide in different ways. Some of the ways that not require one single person death. That is genocide 2C. 2C means create conditions to destroy a group. Inflict conditions to destroy a group. That is genocide. And the Lachin Corridor blockade was exactly that. The Lachin Corridor blockade itself was a genocide because it created conditions to destroy the group. And it's not my opinion. That what the International Court of Justice said in a case Armenia presented before Bosnia. And that was an important decision obtained by Armenia. Because the judges say to Ariel, open the Lachin Corridor because if not, this ethnic Armenian group will die. And so, this is a case, people say, okay, how to prove the intention of Ariel? Come on. The 15th court told him, if you keep this ethnic group will die. Then Secretary Blinken and President Macron called Ariel personally, respect that. UN Secretary General Gutierrez called him saying that. And Ariel, instead to open the corridor, closed it. fully closed. And when people ask me how to put intention, okay, there are many statements from Ariel speaking bad about the Nagorno people. But in this case, it's like if I put the knife in his chest, and someone tells me, don't do that because we'll kill him. And I do it again, and someone tells me, Luis, you will kill him. And I do it again. Of course I have intention to kill him. When Ariel received instruction, open the machine corridor, and he closed it, and he received information from Blinken saying, don't do that, and he did it again, he continued to do it, that's obviously genocide. I remember, I produced a report, I say that, and I had a meeting at the US State Department, and the Secretary of State told me, I don't understand these Nagorno Karabakh people, because Azerbaijan is offering to open this other road to get food, and they are refusing. I don't understand them. I told Ambassador, imagine I lock you in your home. And I said, don't worry, I will bring you food each morning through the window. Do you accept that? No, you will not accept that. So how you cannot understand Nagorno Karabakh people? Okay? So I say that. But, okay. And then the second part of genocide is what happened when all of you had to escape for fear from Nagorno Karabakh. And that's a different form of genocide. Article 2B is inflicting mental harm, serious mental harm. So the fear of people to leave everything behind you, as you did, and escape, and left your homes, and left your ancestral land, and left your cemeteries, and left all your belongings, all your memory there, it's just because you were full of fear that you would be killed. And that is a second form of genocide. Even there were not so many killings. And that is for me clearly, absolutely clearly. So whatever mistakes in the past, I don't care. This happened, and this could not happen. This is a genocide. And why is important? Why is important that it's a genocide? Because I made my first point knowing I would be unpopular, I'm sorry, but that is the problem. According with the international law, our flag was not recognized, and therefore you were Azerbaijan citizens. So if we don't build the idea that it's a genocide, you have to be citizens of Azerbaijan. But if you say, look, these people are victims of genocide, cannot be under the authority of the genocider. That's why to protect Nagorno Karabakh, the best legal idea for me was present. Look, the truth, this is genocide, and you cannot put the victim of genocide in the hands of the perpetrator of genocide. That is, and the other idea I have is, because Nagorno Karabakh is not part of Armenia, in fact, you have no national representation. You have no country representing your rights. And therefore, the Genocide Convention gives you 163 representatives, because the Genocide Convention say, Article 1st, that the state parties have the right, have the duty to prevent genocide. Therefore, in not just Armenia, 163 states, including Russia, US, France, have the duty to protect the victim of genocide. And that was the only other reason I did it. So, and I like you see the connection, because legally, no one recognizes Artsakh as an independent country. You were under Azerbaijan. And because Armenia was not part of Armenia was not your country. If you read the debates at the UN Security Council in September, Armenia was trying to defend you, but Azerbaijan was telling them, look, this is an Azerbaijan problem, it's not an Armenian problem. So that was legally a complicated thing. That's why the Genocide Convention was a legal solution for that. And I was hoping that could work. In fact, what happened was the department became most active, but then Aliyev reacted fast and attacked you and produced the second part. To finish the legal part, you have the right to return. And the good legal thing I'd like to inform you is, in this case between Armenia versus Azerbaijan for discrimination, Azerbaijan officials, representatives, recognize that you have the right to return and recognize all your rights. And that's important because it's better than a judge conviction. It's that. How to implement the ruling is a different part. I see your face, no, I understand. But it's much better to have that than not have that. You have a ruling, you have a decision saying, yes, this will have to return. How to return is a matter we need to discuss. How to implement return. For me, I became active when I saw COP29. It's a meeting in November where countries from all over the world meet to discuss the climate change. So it will be a global discussion in Baku. And I was thinking, okay, if in this global discussion with Armenian prisoners in the jail, they don't talk about Nagorno Karabakh, we are dead. We are not exist anymore. Part of the fight is for the memory. And then if in 1 year later, we don't talk about what happened, we are in a bad situation. That's why I joined other Armenian groups to start a campaign to make the point clear. And I think that it's coming. The point is coming. Why we should do a global campaign using communication and political pressure and not a judicial court? Because there is no court to free the Armenian hostages. There is the court on your return already said that, maybe you can explore something more, but then we need more political pressure to do that. And the states have the interest not to recognize the problem. Because the states have different interests, they don't like to fight for you too much. They respect you, they recognize your right, but they are willing to do nothing. So we need to mobilize that. We need to find a way to mobilize that. And you have to understand, something very important you have, very important, is there are Armenians all over the world. And Armenians are committed with you. I had a picture that 2 weeks ago, I was in a school in Buenos Aires, and they raised the Nagorno Karabakh flag, the Artsakh flag, each day. They raised the Armenian flag, the Argentinian flag, and the Artsakh flag. So there are Armenians all over the world committed with you. You are not alone. We have to find a way to put enough pressure to recover your rights. That's the plan. That we should do. And that we have to discuss. We have to discuss how to transform the situation. And for me, the first step is to make very clear that in Baku, these people arrested could not be there. We explained these people are not prisoners. They are not prisoners of war. They were not in war. They are hostages. Why? What's the difference? A hostage is someone who is in prison to send a message. And the message is, don't come back. Don't come back to Nagorno Karabakh. If you come back to Nagorno Karabakh, you will be killed or arrested. That's the message. And it's sad, but it's exactly what happened in 1915. The Turks took the elite, the Armenian elite, and killed them to destroy the leadership of the community. And that's what they are doing today with Artsakh. That's why we need to recover them. We need to create a new movement to recover them. And the good thing is that could be something we can try to achieve before November, but at least we produce such a mess in COP29 that the issue could not be ignored. And in fact, you're not alone. Because Armenians are in the US, they lobby the US State Department, and Secretary Blinken mentioned the need to release the prisoners. And in Germany, there are parliamentarians now working because the biggest scandal that Azerbaijan bribed the members of the parliament are banned people. So they are in different places for different reasons, groups working for you. We have to find a way to harmonize efforts and focus and try to first rescue the prisoners and then focus on recovering your rights. That would be an uphill battle, but we should do it. We cannot give up. I understand you have individual problems, and that's why for me, one thing for me would be interesting to understand what you imagine, because you cannot go back putting your life at risk. So to go back, you need to have securities. And in the meantime, what you do? So I don't know exactly how to help you. I was committed today to work on preparing a report on what are the rights Azerbaijan recognized that you have before the International Court of Justice, and what will be the way forward. And for that, I really much appreciate, understand your view, saying, look, I have my machines there, I need the machine, I need some money now, I can sell part of my farm in Nagorno Karabakh to recover something, I don't know. Whatever you consider proper, I like to listen to you. Or in my meeting with the Nagorno Karabakh people on Monday, say, or Tuesday, I feel it's very important healing. It's very important to talk about what happened to you. You are frustrated, you suffer, you lost everything. So the fact that we listen to you and we record what happened to you is very important. That was my experience in my experience. That I remember in Sudan, Darfur, we took the testimony of a man who said, I was waiting for you. So he was in a refugee camp in Chad. When my investigators arrived, he said, I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you. And he gave to them in 4 hours the testimony, very sad testimony, explaining how the Sudanese government was surrounding the village, burning the houses, destroying the wills, and raping all the women. He said, they raped my wife and my 4 children, my 4 daughters. And they forced me to watch when they were raping my 8-year-old girl. And I was crying, he said, asking, why? Why are you doing this to me? The guy told us this awful sad story, and when finished, he became calm, totally calm, and said, now I can die. I told you. So, what I saw, the possibility that the state or authorities listen to you, listen and record, and see how to solve the problem is very important. And that we can do that. We can do that today. We can organize that. The Center for Justice was doing that, but we should do it in a more formal system to recover information. That would be the beginning. And then we should find a way to understand how you can recover your rights, what you lost. We can start. We should start with, I don't know, for the possibility to do allow to request and do visits to visit your cemeteries, to visit your sacred places, or try to recover some of your belongings. So we can start to do things basics or understand your interest and explore how to do that. So the last thing we have to do is to keep quiet. Because if you stay quiet, they will use your houses, they will sell your houses, they will do everything. Already they are, as you know, they are taking your university. But it's a public space, not your houses, not your homes. So I believe the last thing we should do is to get quiet. It's not about discussing between us, it's about focusing on how you got some reparations, how you recover what is yours, okay? That is, for me, the path forward.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, just before Nietzsche is a hard sentence, before opening the floor, I have, there was another cluster of questions, which was about international organizations.
Yes.
Which international organizations can be involved? In which way? In what way?
Well, there are, the world is organizing around states, national states. And there is a professor at Harvard who did a report that for 5,000 years, humanity was using wars to manage conflicts. 5,000 years, wars. Since 1648, there was a Peace of Westphalia called the Permanent Peace of Westphalia, ending a war in Europe that devastated Europe. The Permanent Peace of Westphalia was not the end of the war at all. New wars coming, but any new peace treaty invoked the Permanent Peace of Westphalia. And that was the creation of the national state. The national state protects internally, but the bad thing of the national state attacks other states. That's why the First World War, Second World War. After the Second World War, something completely new happened. Nuremberg trial. Nuremberg trial started individual responsibility. And that was beyond states. And imagine, in 1915, there was no law, there was no genocide, there was no Nuremberg, there was nothing. In 1945, they created the concept of genocide. They created a tribunal just for the Nazis, not permanent. 60 years later, they created a permanent international criminal court, where I was a prosecutor. And that is making Nuremberg a permanent system. That could protect you, but it's a part of the protection. How it protects you? The good thing is Armenia was not a member of the International Criminal Court. But since this year, Armenia became a party. So now Aliyev knows if he invades Armenia and commits war crimes here, he will be indicted. That's the difference. And he has to understand, Putin was indicted, Netanyahu was indicted, therefore, why not? Aliyev will be indicted. And being indicted is not a joke. In my experience, I indicted 3 heads of states. Gaddafi was killed, al-Bashir is in jail, the other one was 9 years in jail. So it's took time, but it's very bad for a head of state to be indicted. So that could happen now. And that's something it has not passed. The second point of the International Criminal Court is Nagorno Karabakh crimes. The problem of Nagorno Karabakh crime is legal because the crime happened in the state of Azerbaijan, which is not part of the jurisdiction. But there's a solution for that because there was this one precedent in Myanmar. In Myanmar, they attacked the Rohingya, ethnic group, and the Rohingya escaped from Myanmar to Bangladesh. Myanmar, as Azerbaijan, is not a state party. Bangladesh, as Armenia, is a party. And the court, the International Criminal Court, decided to open an investigation on the basis that these are crimes against humanity, not just crimes against humanity, of deportation. Deportation means crossing an international border. And that allowed the International Criminal Court to have jurisdiction on this case of Rohingya, and that could be also the reason to open a case in Nagorno Karabakh. How to proceed? You have to file information to the prosecutor. So you have no individual rights to present the case, you have the individual right to give the information to the prosecutor. So if we do these ceremonies, official ceremonies, formal ceremonies, where you make your statement, your testimony, and you put your documents, what happened with your belongings, that we can send a copy to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor will open an investigation. Okay? That's the International Criminal Court problem. Then you have the International Court of Justice, who did very important. Today I was talking to your lawyer, an Armenian lawyer, and was incredibly important the decision that the International Court of Justice took when they ordered Aliyev to open the Lachin corridor. He disobeyed, but it's clear the court gave him instruction and he refused it. And now will be a decision based on this treaty of how Azerbaijan was permanently this what's the word?
Disloyal?
Eh?
Disloyal?
No.
Disobedience.
Yeah.
Disobedience?
No, it's not disobedient. It's when you are selected. Segregation. It's about doing segregation to the people, and that will become a decision this year. So this will happen. This will solve everything? No. But these are important part of your activity. Then we have to help you to understand how to combine this with your demands. And the problem is how to put this not just in the media, which is not today, also between states, because states tend to ignore this obligation to protect people outside the borders. So Germany is committed, but they're doing nothing. Okay, we should make effort and use the Armenians in Germany, the Armenians in the US, to transform their countries to push on that. I was today with an ambassador foreign ambassador here, and they are more than happy. They say, yes, we need pressure on us. They need to put pressure on us. So that is part of your job. What I can do for you is give you a pathway, a path ahead. I cannot do your work for you, but I can help you to see where to go. Is that clear enough?